Hi, my name is Jeff Weissler, and welcome to Chew on This, episode number 4. Overview of today's show. We're going to taste a wine. Who's we? I have somebody I will be tasting wine with and talking wine and food with, which is the second part of our show. And then third part of our show, we'll introduce a topic, and the last part of our show will be about something fantastic. So hang out and hear about that in some detail at the end of the show. So here we go. Whoosh. So I'm here with Beverly McKenzie, rock star, wine and food rock star. She's shy. She shouldn't be shy.
That's a little much.
So Beverly does all kinds of audio and video on Conscious Wine with us, talking wine and food. And
I'm excited about this.
she hasn't had this yet, and neither have I. So today we are tasting a wine from Ambeth Estate, from the Paso Robles area. It's actually specifically from Templeton, Oregon. Dry farmed means they don't use water in the vineyards.
Okay.
Head prune vines.
Yeah.
What's that?
What is that?
They're not trellised.
Right.
So the vines are not trained up on trellises. Head prune vines, definitely close to the earth, and the roots run down really deep into the earth. In the Rhone Valley in France, one of my favorite things is there's a wind, that called the Mistral, which is often 20, 30 miles per hour. Here in my home, we can do this. That's 20.
It's a dog toy.
Yeah, and we have 2 dogs running around. So there's this wonderful wind, and the wind blows around. One of the good things about that is why bugs aren't going to come and cause lots of problems, so they don't have to use pesticides as much. And the vines have to go down deep, 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 deep to reach water and to hold on because of this wind. Well, the varietals that are in that environment for reds are Syrah and Grenache, to name 2. And in whites, they include Viognier, Marsanne,
Roussanne, and
And
then Grenache Blanc is
Grenache Blanc.
amongst others. But Grenache Blanc is actually planted more heavily and used more heavily in the Rhone region. But domestically, here in the U.S., you don't see Grenache Blanc as 100%.
Oh!
Almost never. That's a great natural cork.
Did I just do that?
You did, but that's not a biggie. Here, you want to talk while I do that?
See, that happens to everybody.
Hey, actually, has this happened to you at home where you actually break off a cork? Because it happens to me a lot. So
Oh, my goodness.
one of the tricks is to actually take the tip of your worm and go in an angle kind of like this, and actually aim for the side of the neck, and then go in. And this is the beauty of a double-hinged corkscrew. And by double-hinged, we mean that it has this little extra appendage.
Ah.
So you have 2 hooks. So sometimes, you go to open a bottle of wine and you squirm in too deeply and you can't open, but this is why. And then you want to put the first hinge closer to where the worm is. There you go. And just go real super gentle. See, now, this is where the hinge comes in. Ha ha. Ever so careful. And then still, you don't want crumbles in the wine, so you're better off not pulling it all the way up and just kind of wiggling gently. Nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Abracadabra.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Grenache Blanc.
Grenache Blanc. This wine, no sulfites added. So that's really a crazy thing, because it's very hard to make quote-unquote stable wine, according to some people,
Why is that, Jeff?
without adding sulfites. Sulfites have been used since Roman times. They went in with the candles that had sulfur in them to clean out the tanks and the vats, and it started preserving the wine. So sulfur dioxide has been added to wine to prevent oxidation and to prevent bacteria from running wild for a very, very long time. Now, the laws for organic wine in the United States, and one of the reasons we actually started Conscious Wine was to create clarity around what I'm about to say. The laws around organic wine today mean that no sulfites can be added. So the image of organic wine,
According to the USDA.
According to the USDA. So people are expecting this wonderful quality in these wines because it's organic, and when does an organic carrot taste better than a regular carrot? But in this case, what happens is we get some inconsistency in a wine because there's nothing to really protect the wine. So a single extra yeast or bacterial anything can cause a microbial invasion.
Right.
And the next thing you know, there's all kinds of strange things happening.
Like an unclean refrigerator.
So, but what I love about Ambeth Estate and what they've really been focusing on is not making every wine with no sulfites added. Philip and Mary Hart, their intention is to go in that direction. So when the opportunity to get there happens, they go for it. And in this case, they've been able to do it on a number of their wines. Okay. And part of the deal is they make the wines in very small lots. Right. So most of the wines from them will be somewhere between 25 to 100 cases. There's nothing, well, there's this much, but it's very, very little wine. It helps them to really control things. So
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. So are you suggesting that because it's such a small batch that they're able to really micromanage the wine and they don't have to be
Yes.
so concerned about stray bacterial
right,
invasions?
exactly.
Okay.
So that's great. Okay, first sniff. I want to see what Beverly's reaction on the first sniff is.
Well, it definitely smells more alive. This is a pretty
Exactly.
rich Grenache Blanc. Sometimes Grenache Blanc can be very, it can be bright and kind of Meyer lemony, but thin and minerally. And I'm getting a fuller, richer nose with some hints of tropical fruit.
I was going to say the tropical thing comes up to me, but it's got this beautiful textural richness that shows up right on first sniff.
And this is unfiltered as well, so I'm getting some cloudiness. And that's not a flaw.
No, that's not a flaw.
It's just unfiltered.
It's just their choice of what they're doing in winemaking, which is to make natural wine and wine that really expresses the place that the wine comes from. I'm loving the nose. My first thing is sulfite. No sulfites added. I confess, I'm immediately looking to find something off.
Yeah, and
Now-
typically what I get many times, from unsulfured wines, is a quality that you find in some Belgian beers.
Yeah.
Spontaneous, or it's like in some lambics where you get that, especially when you're using our native yeast to produce a wine. So it's less controlled, it's a little more rustic. You get some of that sour quality, and I'm not really necessarily talking about Brettanomyces, which is a strain, and I'm not going to get too technical, but sometimes you get more of that sour tanginess. And the sourness I'm getting here at least seems more from citrus fruit and flesh and not from bad bacteria.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm going to shut up with my mouth full.
Tangerine, yummy citrusy acidity, orangey, exotic, beautiful flavors. I love the flavors here.
It's like unlike any Grenache Blanc I've ever had.
Wow. I mean, that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's almost Chardonnay-like in its richness and fullness and prowess.
Well, it's got this wonderful zingy, but I think it's like an orange richness with this slight tropical edge without the heavy tropical quality. This very vibrant tropical edge. Yeah. To me, really.
Like a really, really, really ripe pineapple. Where it's really soft and tender and you can still eat the core. Those golden ripe pineapples. That's what I'm getting. Like
white fish, like a nice piece of white fish with a reduction that's got maybe some orange.
Yeah, some snapper. Okay. And actually what I would do is I would steam the fish rather than giving it any fatty qualities or caramelized texture of the flesh. I would steam the fish, and you could even steam it with some citrus zest, right? And maybe even a little bit of light lemongrass and some fresh basil. And I think that would be fabulous with this. And you could serve it with some jasmine rice, more floral, kind of perfumey, aromatic rice. How about some, you think you can handle a little red chili?
Yeah.
Like Asian chilies?
I think lemongrass is spot on.
What also just kind of came to me was that my friend Liza makes this great, just simple Southern-style pulled pork where she actually just takes a pork butt and throws it in a crock pot, and she crushes some garlic in there, and just a little splash of cider vinegar. And I'm thinking, this would be great with that, but also maybe just put a little bit of pineapple juice and some crushed pineapple into that pork butt too. Just let it cook brainless for a few hours and just serve this with it, and it'd be awesome with it.
That sounds great. That sounds totally great. You know what? You are a wine and food pairing rock star.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Beverly.
See you soon.
Today's topic, natural winemaking. So a big part of what they do at Ambeth Estate, and a really, really great controversial topic. So natural winemaking can include things like, does it mean no sulfites added? Does it mean no yeast added? Does it mean no manipulation in the winery at all? Okay, to tune in and learn more about natural winemaking, our Facebook page on Conscious Wine, for Conscious Wine, our Facebook page for Conscious Wine, the one that you can like, is going to be filled with information on natural winemaking. We'll have a couple blog posts up there. We'll have a couple little conversational topics that we'll post over the next 2 weeks between episode 4 and episode 5 of Chew on This. And lastly on today's show, if you don't know already, we have a trip you can win. And it is a great combination of wine and food experiences. 3 days, May 1st through 3rd is the trip. in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. You'll be staying, if you win, you'll be staying at Youngberg Hill Winery. And we've got 3 vineyard experiences. We got 3 amazing dinners planned. It's going to be 7 people total on the trip. And all you have to do to enter is just be on our email list. And once you're on our email list, you can forward it to friends. And there's a little extra bonus involved with that. So that's the scoop for today. Hope you enjoyed Chew on This. Have a great day. And we'll see you soon for more. Cheers.